Assalamu alaikum. You are watching HumSub.TV and I am Muneeb Hamid with the news in English. Shahid Khaqan Abbasi calls on Chief Justice of Pakistan in a bid to defuse. In a surprise move amid heightened tensions between the ruling party and the judiciary, Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi dashed to the Supreme Court to have his first one-on-one meeting with Chief Justice of Pakistan Mia Saqib Nisar on Tuesday evening. The unexpected meeting between the heads of the two institutions, which continued for hours, may help in diffusing the perceived tensions between the ruling Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and the judiciary in lowering political temperature, especially against the backdrop of criticism of the judiciary by former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, his daughter Maryam Nawaz and other relatives facing corruption charges in an accountability court, legal observers believe. Analysts see the move as part of an effort by the Prime Minister to convince the judiciary that the PMLN government does not want to confront it and to communicate the difficulties the government faces due to the judiciary's active role in questioning the quality of governance. The initiative came against the backdrop of Mr. Abbas's recent interview in a private TV channel in which he said that his government was ready to initiate a dialogue with any institution. The same offer had been extended by Mr. Sharif while talking to media outside the Accountability Court, where he had come face-to-face corruption reference against him. The meeting was not unprecedented, as a similar interaction took place between then Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani and the former Chief Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry in February 2010 at the height of tension on the appointment of judges. A 3-hour-long follow-up meeting was held over a dinner the next evening. Expecting swift progress after meeting, Prime Minister says Chief Justice of Pakistan. The Chief Justice of Pakistan, Mia Saqib Nisar, said the government should work to its full potential and prospects of swift progress are surfacing after his recent meeting with Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi. A 3-judge bench headed by the Chief Justice resumed hearing the case of provision of necessities to state-owned hospitals. Additional Attorney General informed that the court had appointed of heads of PIMS and other state hospitals will begin again sent to the respective cabinets for approval and court orders will be acted upon swiftly. The CJP also remarked that there will be no more interruption in the approval of summaries. I met the Prime Minister yesterday and there will be rapid progress in matters now, he said. Nisar further directed the Secretary of Capital Administration and Development Division to swiftly appoint the heads of public hospitals. If the progress is slowed or delayed, then on the basis of merit, we shall be appointing the heads, the CJP said, adding that henceforth the coming government will stabilize progress on their arrival. The applicant of the case told the court that doctors are deployed on administrative positions. The CJP remarked that in his opinion, doctors should not be in administrative positions, including the post of Secretary Health Sector. Let the government work. We will assess later whether the people they deploy are good or not, he added, adjourning the hearing until next week. Supreme Court gives government 30 days to bring back Hussain Haqqani. The Supreme Court of Majesty ordered government authorities to take steps to bring former ambassador to the United States, Hussain Haqqani, back to Pakistan within 30 days. The court was hearing a suo motu case regarding the 2011 Memogate scandal. Director General of Federal Investigation Agency Bashir Ahmad Memon, who appeared before the court today, said that the judiciary magistrate had provided the arrest warrants that were issued by the court earlier. He assured the court that the warrants would be sent to Haqqani's residence in Karachi and Washington. Chief Justice Mia Saqib Nisar warned that the Supreme Court will not accept any excuses after the deadline's expiration. Memon told the CJP that they had to follow a procedure in order to issue a red warrant. The FIA chief said that if Haqqani did not return to Pakistan to face the courts, he would send a legal notice to the former ambassador through a lawyer in US. 7 years on, Nawaz regrets moving Supreme Court over Memogate. Perhaps for the first time, former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif expressed regrets on Tuesday over taking the Memogate controversy, which had triggered a confrontation between the then government and the military leadership, to the Supreme Court in 2011. Also during the day, the Apex Court resumed proceedings in the Memogate case and summoned the Interior and Foreign Affairs Secretaries on Wednesday to brief the court about their efforts to bring former ambassador to the United States, Hussain Haqqani, the main character in the controversy, back to Pakistan. The case pertains to a controversial memo allegedly written by Mr. Haqqani to the then U.S. military chief Admiral Mike Mullen. Mr. Sharif, as well as the top PMLN leadership, had petitioned the Supreme Court seeking an inquiry into the matter. Subsequently, a commission headed by Justice Qazi Faiz Isa, who was Chief Justice of Balochistan High Court at that time, had conducted the inquiry and submitted its report to the Apex Court. The matter has been pending before the Supreme Court since then. After a gap of about 7 years, Mr. Sharif said his involvement in the controversy as a petitioner against former President Asif Ali Zardari in the case was a mistake. Parliamentary panel hints at moving Supreme Court over disputed constituencies. The head of the Parliamentary Committee on Delimitations hinted at moving the Supreme Court or bringing legislation on disputed constituencies after election authorities did not attend a meeting on Tuesday in which they were supposed to respond to queries of the parliamentary panel. The Election Commission of Pakistan instead sent a letter to the working group of bipartisan parliamentary panel reiterating that any objections should be sent to the Commission by April 3rd. The letter stated the officials who drafted the new delimitations could not attend the meeting because they were busy in reviewing preparations for the next general elections in another meeting at the ECB headquarters. On March 5, the polls body put on display draft of new delimitations for public, after which lawmakers from different political parties during the National Assembly session questioned fairness in marking boundaries of constituencies. Army to back Supreme Court under Bajwa doctrine, says Imran Khan. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chief Imran Khan for the first time on Tuesday shared his understanding of the much publicized and discussed Bajwa doctrine, as he had said that the armed forces would be on the back of the Supreme Court when it came to a direct confrontation between political parties and the judiciary. In the same breath, he said former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif would be responsible if such a situation emerged due to his aggressive policy and deliberate attacks on the judiciary and the armed forces. You see that Nawaz Sharif is deliberately attacking the judiciary openly. He also attacks the armed forces cautiously, and at the same time, he has two sidekicks. Fazlur Rahman, Maulana Fazlur Rahman of the Jamiat-e-Ulama-e-Islam FN Achakzai, Mahmood Khan Achakzai of the Pakhtunkhwa Milli Awami Party, who attack the judiciary and the armed forces. In fact, Achakzai attacks the armed forces openly. In this situation, I understand that the Bajwa doctrine vows to stand behind the judiciary for the supremacy of law. Pakistan urges more non-permanent seats in UNSC to ensure regional representation. Pakistan, which opposes additional permanent members on the UN Security Council, has called for equitable representation on the 15-member body by adding more elected seats to it. Speaking in the long-running intergovernmental negotiations on Security Council reform, Pakistan's permanent to the United Nations, Mali Halodi, said, "Equitable representation has been the primary impulse behind all Security Council reform efforts, and its importance cannot be overstated. In 1945, the Security Council represented 20% of the membership of the UN. Today, it represents 8% of the membership," she said, also pointing out that nearly a third of the membership was never served on the Council. Full-scale negotiations to restructure the Security Council began in General Assembly in February 2009 on 5 key areas: categories of membership, the question of veto, regional representation, size of an enlarged council, and working methods of the body and its relationship with the 193-member Assembly. North Korea's Kim shows unity with China's Xi in first foreign trip. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was treated to a lavish welcome by Chinese President Xi Jinping during a secretive trip to Beijing, as both sides seek to repair frayed ties ahead of landmark summits with Seoul and Washington. On his first trip abroad since taking power, Kim and his wife were met with honor guards and a banquet hosted by Xi, according to the state media, which confirmed the unofficial visit on Wednesday only after Kim had returned to North Korea. The two men held talks at the stately Great Hall of the People, during which they hailed their nation's historic relations, with Kim pledging that he was committed to denuclearization on the Korean peninsula, according to China's Xinhua news agency. Saudi Arabia present $930 million check to UN for humanitarian aid in Yemen. Saudi Arabia on Tuesday presented a $930 million check to the UN for humanitarian aid in Yemen as the UN chief pushed for an end to war, in which Riyadh leads a military coalition. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres thanked Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the contribution, but stressed that the war in Yemen requires a political solution and not just a humanitarian response. There is no humanitarian solution for humanitarian problems, Guterres said after receiving the check, which also came from the United Arab Emirates. The Emirates plays a major role in the coalition, which intervened militarily 3 years ago to support Yemen's government against Iran-backed Houthi rebels. And now the sports news. Brazil beat Germany as Spain thrashed Argentina. Brazil edged past world champion Germany 1-0 in their international friendly on Tuesday to snap their opponent's 22nd match unbeaten run and exact some measure of revenge for their 2014 World Cup semi-final humiliation. Gabriel Jesus headed in the winner in the 37th minute as Brazil, beaten just once under coach tight and missing injured talisman Neymar, beat a second-string German team to restore some pride after their 7-1 loss to the Europeans 4 years ago. The Germans were hoping to match their record of 23 games without defeat, but they lacked their usual spark, with several key players players injured or rested, including Manuel Neuer, Mesut Ozil and Thomas Müller. And now the weather update for the next 24 hours. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts, while hot in central and south parts of the country. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, keep watching HumSub.TV. Take care. Please subscribe to HumSub.TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching HumSub.TV.